Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Wuthering Waves reaction. Today we have New Blossoms in a Desolate Land as requested by It's SKR, or It's Skr, as I called it initially when I read it. And I guess I'm just going to be listening to this one. It's another song from version 2.8, just like the one I listened to last time. So I'm excited to hear more from this chunk of the game. It had a beautiful first experience with that last song, and now I'm going to be hearing more, I'm sure. So without further ado, let's go! Okay, we're already leaning into that, like, dissonance that I remember from the last one. I actually did almost click on this one for the last video, but I don't know, the other one just is what I picked. See, I like that tension right there. Oh, man. And it's only just begun. The noise floor on this one is very kinetic. It's got a lot of that electronic just noise dancing around. And even this like really soft like glockenspiel like ice bell sound underneath everything here, underneath the piano. Has a very similar emotional swell to the other one. Very different in approach, but similar in concept. God, I love those, like, the echo delayed keys in there, that keyboard sound. Oh man, far too short. I needed another minute at minimum of that song. All right, so this one compared to the other one, obviously they're different songs, largely by different people, so I'm not going to be like comparing apples to apples here. But in tone, the other one was a lot more like calming, I suppose, and for this one it had a little bit more of a bite to it. I don't think that that's like so aggressive either that like you're losing the calm in this song. It's definitely there. This song almost sounds like the Frutiger Arrow aesthetic feels. I've talked about that a few times before in the past, where like there are some songs that just nail that sensation of having this like glassy sort of like I would say like a glassy beach aesthetic where like everything is kind of just pristine and frozen in time, and there's just that aesthetic to the moment. And this really hits that. I don't think that that's because of the visuals either, because sure, water is involved, right? But like, I think it's purely in the energy that the song gives off. I feel like there is this hanging pendulum of nostalgia to this one that the other one didn't quite have. It was beautiful, but it was beautiful in a completely different way. This one is beautiful in that it feels like it's capturing that moment and just locking it in there. Like I said, a moment in time almost. It's just freezes you right in that space, and you're not really allowed to do anything else in that time. And that's kind of why I was so quiet too, because there were so many interesting details to the song, most of which I mentioned during the reaction itself, but things like that noise floor, for example, there's like a static constantly present in here, and it's just like, is that something trying to break through? Is there like a distortion in this reality? Is this moment frozen in time really frozen naturally, or is it artificial? These questions start to bubble up in my head because I'm like, are these just sound design aspects for the sake of sounding cool, or are they there to represent represent something in the story. That's always something I end up missing out on with these games, is that I don't know the stories well enough to know what's actually going on and what might be relevant versus not. So I'm just hearing these different elements going, is that relevant? Would that be relevant for the story? Is there any clue in the song itself that might hint at more detail to that? I mean, there's a bunch of other things going on in here that are just cool sound design stuff. Like I mentioned, that like glockenspiel ice bell sound that was supporting the actual keyboard and piano playing. That was just cool. That's just a good octave thing to do. It's good to pair up different instruments at different volumes and, of course, frequency levels to make the sound feel a little bit more whole. So doubling up something like a piano with something that's a lot thinner and higher up, like a glockenspiel, that makes total sense, right? It's like adding bells in of different octaves as well. If you just have like a medium tone set of, you know, straight up sleigh bells or something, then you're going to get a different sound if you also add in a much higher pitch of sleigh bell. It's just the way that the brain works. The more octaves you have, the more noise floor is covered, the more frequencies are utilized, the bigger the sound will be and the more interesting it'll be to the ear. And for things like that, I feel like it's a designed aesthetic to match that like dreamlike quality, because there's something light and floaty above everything else that feels a little bit more grounded. The whole song doesn't necessarily feel grounded either, and that's kind of the other thing. We only get like the snare and the backbeat like literally 6 times in this entire song, and it's just singular hits. It's just to keep you there. You know, that's the moment where it grounds you. So these other factors in here aren't really grounding you. It's more or less just kind of skating across the top of the surface of the water, and it's just, oh man, that's why it's giving me that Frutiger Arrow aesthetic feel, because it feels like it's frozen in time, but also I cannot get away from that. Like, this feels like a beach. This feels like a calm spring beach specifically. And no, again, it's not because of the visuals on screen kind of hinting at that season. It's purely in the vibes of the music. I'm sure that that's intentional as well. You make songs to reflect the version of the game, the character, and if the character's whole aesthetic is that, then there you go. For Frutiger Arrow specifically is more of like a turn of the millennium sort of thing, like 2000s-esque design function. It was popular around that time at least, and that's kind of the feel I'm getting out of it, but I don't think that that's represented by the character at all. It doesn't really feel like that would be, but maybe there is some of that nostalgia baked into it from the composers, and they're like, hey, how do we make a song that sounds like that? Let's harken back to when we were kids. And of course, a lot of these composers are going to be roughly around my age and going to lean into these aesthetics that were very present in their lives. So you're going to get these aesthetic parallels no matter what you do, and especially for somebody who shares an age, at least an age range with these people. Yeah, like I'm going to understand some of those and remember why this sounded so cool to me and be able to pick up on that, because the people who are making these were making things that I would want to hear because it's what they would want to hear, and it's what I grew up with, so it's what they grew up with. Even though we were probably in different countries, we largely had similar experiences. I'm sure with gaming and general media, there's going to be some crossover there. Like, everyone's played Kingdom Hearts, you know what I mean? Like, it's that sort of thing. From a different country, maybe, but that doesn't mean anything. We all know who Mario is. But again, all of this, all of my yap in here to say that this song hit a spot in my heart that I haven't felt in a hot minute, and it was just so peaceful to exist in there. I mean, the other song was arguably more smooth. I think that that song plays to the aesthetic of being in a calm location a little bit better, but this one hits that tension early and it releases it slowly and almost reluctantly over time, which is exactly that like frozen in time nostalgia feel that the first one didn't have. That was just calm. This was calming because it was unchanging for a short time, and there was a peace in that, but also it makes you question yourself all in the same. If time were to freeze, you would not be comfortable for too long, you know? So that's the vibe I'm getting from this one. And again, more beautiful music as expected from this version of the game. I love this sound aesthetic that they're going for here. Obviously, I have a lot of strong feelings and resonance with it, so I'm hyped with this one, but I know that they're probably coming out with another another version here soon, so I'm probably going to have to listen to new stuff as well, but I really like what this is getting at and what this sound is and how they approached it. I mean, from the 2 songs I've heard so far, at least, really, really beautiful, and I love how they did it. But I think I'm done yapping. I've yapped for quite a while on this one, longer than I ever anticipated for a song this short, honestly. I think I just got stuck in that nostalgia, as I always do. Anyway, thank you all so very much for watching. If you have another song you want me to get to from Wuthering Waves, by all means, drop in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you don't want to do that, and maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!